Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60. Today we're taking the 335 for a drive. Now I want to go and do some logs, make sure that we haven't caused any issues from driving in those pretty extreme high temperatures on the weekend at Euroday. So yeah, it's a matter of getting E70 back in it. It's currently got, I think, about E30, and that's come about because the petrol station I went to coming back from Euroday was out of E85. So we get some more E85 in it, get it back up to E70, but I thought it'd be cool, before we do that, to do some draggy runs on the lower ethanol mix and see how much slower it is, so you guys have got a bit of an idea on what difference your different ethanol mixes make. So let's go. And it is actually quite a warm day today. Yeah, 30 degrees outside again. Why is it so hot? Why is it always hot in Queensland? Who would have thought being near the equator is a problem? All right, yeah, I'm gonna get the car up to temperature and we'll go and do some draggy runs at this mix. And just so that you know, we are looking at, we currently have E34. So when I'm on lower than E60, I do have to run lower boost. So I'm only going to be running map 7 on the JB4. Map 7 targets 19.5 PSI, but it should hold 19.5 all the way around to red line. So yeah, let's go and see what it does. All right, well, let's head out and see what she does. Or I might have filmed that already. I got interrupted. We'll see. All right, see you guys in a minute. There's my diff. Can you hear it? All right, now I need to apologize. I'm cutting in here because unfortunately I just had a lot of camera issues today with audio not working or iPhone's not screen recording, which was really frustrating, but I want to share this video because I got some interesting data out of it. The next piece that I actually filmed to camera, which has zero audio, I was just explaining what the setup is so that you guys knew, in case you're new. But my car does run a flex fuel setup. It is running through the JB4, and it has got the MHD back-end flash. Now, with the flex back-end flash, the DME will adjust both amounts of fuel flow and timing based on ethanol content. The JB4 will actually adjust port injection flow as well. So when I've got a lesser ethanol content, the port injection won't pump as much fuel in through the port injection because you don't need as much. If you're new to ethanol and you're interested, but basically when you're running a lower ethanol content or even pump fuel, you don't use anywhere near as much fuel. And I remember hearing that if you're running full E85, you'll run sort of 25 to 30% more volume of fuel than you would on pump. I hope that gives you some explanation. Anyway, my flex setup at E30, it's essentially running less timing, and I have had to, as I think I mentioned in here, run lower boost, but I wanted to go and do some acceleration runs with the draggy and actually see how we go. The plan was to do a 0 to 100 and a 60 to 120. I've got those times from the day that I snapped my axle. The car was running the same, it's actually the same map on the DME that it is now, so it's still that gentle-ish timing when I'm at E60. But I wanted to have the comparison at E30, and I was expecting it to be quite a lot slower. Anyway, I'll cut to the run. The plan was to have the JB4 screen recorded and the draggy, and it didn't work. But anyway, here's the run so you can see what happened. Okay, I think we're good to go, although now the JB4's turned off. We've got a break in the traffic. I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to do my normal launch, first gear launches, and draggy's good to go. Heaps of wheel spin as normal. That should be the data recorded. Didn't feel very quick. What do we do? Okay, so we did a 4.66 0 to 100, which is not a terrible time. In fact, it's not bad at all for the amount of wheel spin. And the 60 to 120 was 2.87. This hasn't made much of a difference, to be honest, guys. Hopefully I've got the data that I can flash up on the screen. I can see the draggy stopped screen recording. Bloody hell, it's... All right, I thought I'd better cut that off there because the next words that came out of my mouth weren't very polite. I was getting super frustrated with things not working, and yeah, it just gets worse throughout the day. But I was pretty surprised with how quick that was. That 4.6 is not a bad 0 to 100 for my car on the street at all. And the 60 to 120 at 2.8 seconds, that was actually just as quick as it went when I was running E60 with more boost. So I was surprised. I thought I'd better do another run in case it was a bit of an anomaly. So I go to do another one, and on the next run, the GoPro doesn't work. But I do manage to get a draggy recording. So I'll play that now, and you can see the fastest run I've ever done that got verified. So yeah, I was pretty chuffed with that. We did a 4.18 0 to 100. It was a 4.01 0 to 60 miles an hour and verified. So yeah, that was quick. Quickest verified run I've ever done, and it was on E30 with 19.5 peak boost in second gear. Yeah, pretty chuffed with that. I didn't get a 60 to 120. Unfortunately, it wasn't safe to do so, so I didn't do it. But yeah, there we go. Record done. I was pretty happy with that. And next thing you'll see, I sort of give up on microphones. I'm pretty confident at this point it's all the microphones causing my issues, so I take them out of the GoPro, and you get an update as I'm heading to the petrol station. So hopefully you can hear me all right. I haven't got the microphone plugged in at the moment, but I just want to show you my normal oil temps. So as you can see there, we're one notch off 120, and I think that's around, pardon me, it must be around 110-ish degrees C on the oil temp, and intakes at 35C, so we're like 7 degrees over ambient. And that's why I freaked out so much on the track. I was worried why we were seeing such higher IATs, and my oil was over 120 where it never normally is. And this is a couple of minutes after we've just done those 0 to 100 runs, so we've been beaten on it a little bit. So yeah, that's why I freaked out a bit at the track. Anyway, back to the petrol station driving. Okay, after that I got to the fuel station and got it brimmed up with E85. The car was sitting just under quarter of a tank, and I was hoping that just filling it with E85 would get me up close to that E70 mix, obviously because we had E30 in the tank, which I went and did. And the next clip you see is me doing a couple of roll-ons, letting the DME adjust to the higher ethanol content, and then we'll go and do some logs, and you'll see me after the log videos. So we currently got E65 in the tank. I've got it back on map 6, so we're going to be targeting full boost now. Yeah, just do a little second gear roll on and see if it feels any different. Yep, feels different. Ooh, those few degrees of timing make a huge difference. Don't forget, we got boost limited to, I think, 22 PSI in second gear. So boost will only be targeting a couple more PSI than it was when you last saw me talking to camera. But yeah, man, she feels spicy. Spicy. So guys, the fuel's done a little bit more mixing, and we're actually at 69% ethanol. Where JSR wanted us at 70, so that's close enough. Let's do a log. Third gear, let's go. Not slow. Ooh, check engine. Let's see what that is. Read codes. Vanos error. Coolant error is normal, but the Vanos error is not ideal. Low boost mode engaged. Ooh, that's kind of scary. I hope that's not because of the cam ledge. Let's shut her off. We'll start it back up. We'll delete the codes. And they didn't come back instantly. But let's try another run. We'll do another log. I think. If it lets me. Hopefully you can actually capture it on the end of that clip, but you can just hear the microphone dying, or whatever it is that dies. It was just starting to happen there. Yeah, a few seconds after that I lost audio again. But you didn't miss much, because the Vanos error come up, I restarted the car, and then I forgot to turn traction control off again, so the next log was no good for anything useful anyway. But the Vanos thing has got me thinking. It's got me a bit worried about what's actually caused that. Yeah, the cam ledges in the parts car were not great. We were hoping they were going to be fine. But the other thing to keep in mind, I'm pretty confident, I do need to double check this, that the Vanos solenoids that I'm running at the moment are the ones from the parts car as well. And I never cleaned them out. I really should have cleaned them out with some brake clean while I had them out, but I didn't. So this is something I'm going to do before the end of the week. I really, really hope it's just something weird like that, like dirt in the solenoid or a build-up in the solenoid, not letting it flow the oil properly. But generally, once you start to see these VANOS codes, it's just a slippery slope. And if you're wondering what causes them to come up, the DME tracks cam timing or cam position. So when it feeds in for VANOS adjustment, it can actually monitor how much the cam is moving. It uses oil pressure to move the cams, and that's why there can be so many things that can cause these VANOS issues. If it is a cam ledge which bleeds out oil pressure, that'll do it. If it's blocked passages in the VANOS solenoids, so the oil's not flowing properly, it'll do this error. The VANOS solenoids can also just die and cause this error. And then there can be other issues like cam sensors and things. There's a lot of things that can cause it. But things I wanted to take away from this video, we did get my fastest ever 0 to 100 time on draggy that got verified. I just had a quick look and it actually did a 4.01 0 to 60 miles an hour and verified. So we're getting pretty good. I should really be happy about that and not be so bummed about all these camera issues I had today. But the other thing was, driving back, I ended up doing another couple of logs and I was just sort of checking things. I stopped trying to film because it was just all just going tits today. But I did do another few logs. The logs still don't look clean. My ignition timing is not what it was on the old engine. I still haven't fitted the plugs. I was really hoping it was just going to sort itself out and stop getting these timing corrections. But it looks like I'm going to put my new spark plugs in, even though I said that last time. I do want to quiz some people. I'm currently running, or I was running 0.018 of an inch gap on the spark plugs, which is on the lower end, but I know people run that when they're running a lot of ethanol. And on the old motor, it was absolutely fine, but I'm thinking of maybe changing that gap to a 0.02. But maybe that shouldn't cause timing corrections. Oh, I really don't know. Let me know what you gap your plugs at if you're running sort of 25 PSI plus and E50 or stronger mix on your M54. I do really want to get to the bottom of these timing corrections, although they're not horrific, and I've seen lots of other people's logs with worse timing corrections. They just weren't there on my old engine, and I want to try and make sure it's not a hardware issue causing them. So we'll keep working through until we work it out, but for now, they're going to sit there. The car feels super strong. As you can see at Euroday, it is not slow when you let it sort of rev out third, fourth gear. It really does fly. I was also thinking about it on the way back with my 0 to 100 runs. That one I've done with a 4.18. It did do wheel spin, but it wasn't too bad. And I'm putting it down to the less aggressive timing that it was running because it was on the E30 mix. And I think that's what it is. I think my car just makes too much power down low to put its power down, especially without this diff brace. It's going to be interesting to see if the diff brace helps improve it and get off the line. But I'm thinking, well, I was thinking I'll try and do a 0 to 100 run with huge boost limits. So that run that I got that 4.18 on, I was running, it was actually set to 15 PSI in first, but I'm still very gentle with how I apply the power in first gear, but it worked all right. And it got a pretty good time. What I ended up trying this afternoon after the logging, I actually set my boost to 5 PSI in first gear, went to do another launch, and it just lit up the rears. So even 5 PSI with my E50, E60 amounts of timing, which is 7 or 8 degrees of timing, it'll just light up the rears too easily when we're going slow on the street. But it's given me some more data to work with, and yeah, I think we're going to be well into the threes by the time we're finished on my 0 to 100 runs, which is pretty cool. Guys, I need to apologise for how weird this video's been with the edits and the chopping. I was originally thinking it's a microphone, but it might be the new GoPro Media Mod that we got about 2 weeks ago playing up already. I'll find out when I go to this one. This is the second time I've filmed this clip as well. Joys of it all. All right, guys. Yeah, apologies for the weird edit, but thank you very much for watching. Yeah, things to take away. Even on E30 at 20 PSI, these M54s feel wicked, and they're fast. They're properly fast. The draggy time showed that. That 2.8 on the 60 to 120 is quick. Yeah, oh man, I just love it. Got to work these niggles out. Hopefully we don't see that VANOS code ever again, and I'll get these spark plugs in. Tomorrow's video I'm planning to do on the E53. The Android head unit's turned up, and I've got an update on that DSP, which just become a nightmare. But we'll get through it. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Sorry for nattering on a lot. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.